This technology workshop is focused on blogging in the classroom. This was born as an extension of the implementation of my capstone project. I had great success with using blogs in my classroom, and I wanted to share these successes with my peers. Blogging provides learners with manifold options and develops their learning strategies, thereby supporting autonomy in its broadest sense. There are several benefits to blogging. A few examples are: it can increase student engagement, it helps to teach 21st century skills, as well as digital citizenship, it can promote collaboration among students, and it has the potential to expose students to a variety of digital tools and resources. Before we started creating our own blogs during the workshop, I wanted to take a few minutes to share some of my favorite blogs. This is the short list, but as we look through these blogs, I want you to take note on some of the tools and resources that are included with each blog. Viewing other blogs helps me to pick and choose what tools would work best in my classroom. This list of blogs can also be found under the Resources Handout tab in case you would like to print it. Also, take note on the second one right here, Teaching Blog Addict. This is a great resource. It's a great blog. There's a tab in this blog called 1000 Plus Teacher Blogs, and it links to 1,000 blogs that are educational. So I feel like this is a really great way to start. The sky is the limit. There are so many different ways to implement a classroom blog. Your blog can be basic and simple, yet extremely effective, or you can enhance your blog by including some different technologies within it. A few examples of enhancing your blog would be to include video chats, voice threads, discussion boards, and reading lists. I would suggest to start simple and allow yourself time to get comfortable with using a class blog. As time allows and your comfort level increases, then you can add digital tools to the blog that will enhance it. To get started with blogging, it is very important for you to teach your students a lesson about blogs. You want to make sure your students understand what a blog is and how to use it effectively. I think this is also a great time to show some exemplars of educational blogs that you find appropriate for your students. This is also a great time to teach digital citizenship. Students need to know there is a great responsibility when it comes to utilizing technology and the internet. I also included a lesson on blogging etiquette before implementation. I felt students needed to know how to appropriately contribute to a blog. I created a poster that had blogging etiquette rules to hang in my classroom. I placed this near the computers to act as a constant reminder. You can find the poster under the Resource Handout tab as well. Lastly, I sent a letter home to the parents. I wanted to ensure that the parents were aware of the class blog, and I wanted to receive permission from every parent to allow their child to be involved. This is also located under the Resource Handout tab. This is the poster that hangs in my classroom near the computers and acts as a constant reminder for my students to use appropriate blogging etiquette at all times. This is the parent letter that I sent home to ensure that I had permission for all students to be involved before beginning implementation. Effingham County prefers teachers to use school wires to create class blogs. This is the same site that houses all teacher websites. The blog actually attaches to the teacher website. I find that this program can be limiting at times, especially when compared to Weebly or EduBlogs. However, it is an effective site and does allow teachers to create effective blogs. The next few slides will be directions on how to set up a class blog using school wires. These directions are also found on the Resource Handout tab. They can be printed or downloaded to help with other teachers wanting to create a blog. You will begin by visiting the Effingham County website and logging in using your username and password. Once you've entered your username and password, you will click on Site Manager. Once you've entered into Site Manager, you're going to click on New Page. Here is is where you will actually create the name of your page. I've created mine and called it Class Blog. And then you will also want to choose Blog down here as the format for your page. Hit Save and Continue. Anytime that you want to add a new post to the class blog, you will click on the blog widget. This is this long gray rectangle. This will actually take you into your blog. But also before we go there, this total visits right here, this allows you to monitor the amount of students and parents who are viewing your blog. You will click on New Posting under Blog Widget. And before we move on, I want you to just take note of this Options button over here. We'll come back to that, but that's how we are going to edit our blog. Next, you're going to create a blog title, and then you can post the date that you want it to be viewed, and you can actually even post a time for viewing it. Hit Save. To create the post for the blog, you're going to click on the tab titled Posting. This will allow you to add text and attachments, and always hit Save before leaving the page. On your blog postings, you can also add different attachments here, put your author's name, you can add tags. There's lots of things you can do here on your blog posting. To edit the blog and set up different filters and privileges for your students, this is where you click on the Options button that I showed you previously. This will be found by clicking on the blog widget from number 5 before. Under Options, you can use various tabs to edit your blog. Make sure to always save before exiting the page. So this actually allows you to edit the sharing privileges, social settings, sidebar. You can filter tags here as well. Now that you have created a class blog, remember the importance of teaching students how to use the technology before implementation. This ensures an effective learning experience for the students. Once students have a firm understanding of how to use the new technology, they are then free to embrace the blog with little confusion and frustration. Also, don't forget that any kind of technology implementation requires a substantial amount of time to plan, and it also requires one to have a flexible disposition that is willing to embrace changes that might come along during the planning or implementation phases. I hope you have found this workshop to be eye-opening. I hope it has shown you the effectiveness and excitement that classroom blogs can bring to student learning. I highly recommend the use of blogs because of the impact it can have on student learning. A few tips before we conclude. Make sure you are very selective in the elements you choose to include in your class blog. Make sure students are comfortable with using these tools and have been trained appropriately. And lastly, take time to do your research. Visit other educational blogs and get ideas of what tools and resources will work best for your classroom blog.